My name's Bryan Posehn. How are you doing? You're probably like, hey, that's that guy from that one thing. Or that one or two things. Why is he interviewing this girl that we want to see? You're all here to see Zazie Beetz, right? Breakout star of Deadpool 2. Her and Rob Delaney's mustache stole that movie, in my opinion. But why am I doing this? I wrote Deadpool, a comic book. Anybody? Yeah. I had Wade Wilson in my head for 3 years, so I think I'm a good person to do this. But I am an incredibly awkward comedian, and I'm not used to talking to pretty women other than my wife. And I don't do a lot of talking, I just do a lot of listening. So I think that's mostly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to bring her on, and then we're going to open it up to questions from you guys in a little bit. But first, I'll awkwardly riff with her, and then I'll do some prepared questions from people on the app. Sound good? I'm a stand-up comic, so I need audience participation, because if you just sit there looking at me, it'll get more and more awkward. I'll fill my pants with pee, and then security will have to take me out of here. So let's try to make this not awkward. Here she is, though, from the show Atlanta and Deadpool 2, Zazie Beetz. You guys give it up for her.
Hey. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming out.
So you said this is your second con. What was your first con?
Yeah, this is my second con. The first one was, dear God, where was it?
Did you do San Diego for when
No,
the movie came out?
Yes, it was San Diego. But I didn't get to meet any fans, which is what I'm excited about for this one.
Nice. Are you doing a signing too, or is this?
I am.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, that's the best part of these things.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I think you guys loved Domino in Deadpool 2. I'm guessing that's what brought you here. Yeah. So I don't know much about the process of you getting in, but I'm assuming, did you audition? Did you do,
Yeah, I did. It was, first I had a meeting with Dave, the director, and halfway through, Ryan, popped in, and we talked for a bit. And usually those meetings are really just do we get along?
Right.
How's the energy? And then a few weeks later, I had a reading with Ryan and Dave. And
did you know, when you did it, did you know that you got the part? Did you feel like you killed it? Or
I thought I did okay. We did 3 different scenes, and I kept being I want to do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I felt insecure, and I kept wanting to do it again and do it again. In the end,
Right.
Ryan was like, it's okay, we're good. But I thought I did all right. And a few weeks later, Ryan texted me in the morning, and it was the first text I had ever received from him. So I was like, this is suspicious. And then
Right.
later in the day, Dave and Ryan called me and told me I had booked it.
Well, you had to know when he personally texted you.
Yeah, I thought it would have been.
You were in the at least top 2, or yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have been a little bit of a false reaching out if it hadn't been the case.
Now, in the movie, I just watched it again. In the interview scene that when you're first joining the X-Force, that seems improvised. Is that true, or was that all that stuff written? Or
it's partially
the back
improvised.
and forth between you guys is so great.
Yeah, that scene we had shot that scene, and then we ended up doing it again in the reshoots. And in the reshoots, we ended up incorporating bits of another scene that was cut out. And there were parts of it that we loved so much that we threw it in. So it was a little bit puzzled together. And but then a good portion was also kind of just riffing off of each other, which those are always the best ones. So you start kind of scripted, and as we got more comfortable, we sort of released that, and I think that's sort of the cut that ended up in the movie.
Just as a viewer, that's it. When you're watching Ryan Reynolds and you, it seems like it didn't seem scripted. It seemed supernatural, and like I loved
Thank
those
you.
moments.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think Ryan is really good at that, and Ryan is also really good at coming up with things off the cuff, which was why it was good having him around all the time, because he would always be writing alts for everyone, for himself, for every person on set, and so. You know, we always sort of were like, well, I don't really know any other options, and he'd like throw one for you to try out. So,
well, I think that's a big part of why those two movies have worked so well.
Yeah.
For sure. You always probably get this question. So, how familiar with the comic were you?
before everything, I wasn't. I didn't really know much at all. I mean, I had seen Deadpool, and I enjoyed the film a lot. I think it's such a unique take on this whole universe and on sort of the superhero genre, and I love how aware it is of itself, and including the audience in the narrative. I think that's so smart.
Breaking the fourth wall, and
yeah. But I mean, obviously, after just initial meetings and just kind of engaging just with the audition, I started, I picked up a bunch of comics. I remember I went to a comic book store and I was asking the guy working there a bunch of questions, and he was like, "Why are you so curious about Domino?" I was like, "I have a school project."
Then did he blog about it right away?
Yeah. But so he gave me a bunch of stuff, and because it's such a huge world, I kind of didn't really know where to start.
That's tough for sure.
Yeah, I picked through some, and I looked online.
Your Domino is kind of your own, too. I mean, they
know.
definitely... Now, do you want to talk about that? Like, so I think initially some fans were freaking out that it was going to be so different.
Yeah, and I also understood that. I mean, I think about my own kind of associations I have with my characters I loved in my childhood, and, you definitely... particularly visually have an image that you're attached to, and so I understood that part.
But anybody who would see the movie and still be mad at your casting, I don't understand them, because you completely made that role yours.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. See, I have to go back to the audience, because I get nervous without the audience participation.
But I think I also, I get if you feel, or if people have felt detached from my version. I more balk at if people become rude online or something like that. But I have to say it hasn't been too much of an issue. So I've been
great.
I've been blessed
well, that's good
in that
to know.
department. Yeah.
I hope the nerds take it easy on you, because I think you're awesome. I'm going to go to the prepared questions. They're actually from the app. If I can get this to...
What kind of app?
No, the Ace. The Ace Comic-Con app.
Is it here?
Of course.
Do you need to know a password? No.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
God, I'm an idiot. She hit it once and it works. From Sarah Musada from Lansing, Illinois. Do you have a luck charm? And if you do, what is it, if you don't mind sharing?
One thing comes to mind. I have a necklace that I am not wearing right now, but I bought by a while. Last year, I wrote my grandmother a really long letter about anxiety because she was having a hard time. And in response, she was like, "I really want to get you something," and it was. She bought me this gold chain that was from Venice, and Venice is a place that means a lot to me, and I bought these two charms, a T and an M for Tom and Michelle.
Venice, Italy,
parents.
or Venice, California?
Venice, Italy.
The good one, the fancy one. Nice.
And I bought two little initials with it, T and M, which are Tom and Michelle, which are my mom and dad, and I wear that a lot and carry that with me. But that's rather new, I suppose. So,
cool.
But I'm rather unattached to items, I have to say.
Nice.
It's both good and bad because I break everything. But
Well, I'll get back into these questions, but for me, I was wondering about how much like prep was there for the stunts, and like how much time before you guys actually shot were you
It was
rehearsing and doing that kind of stuff?
a lot.
Yeah.
Or a lot for me. I don't really work out much.
Yeah, was that the first time you've done big action scenes?
Yeah.
In
So
Atlanta, you're not doing a lot of flipping around and kicking the shit out of people, or
well, not too much. I mean, there are a lot of scenes in bed, which I was so grateful for after Deadpool. I was really looking forward to the pajama and pillow situation.
Nice.
But for Deadpool, so we started shooting end of June. I didn't get to action until end of July, and I started training beginning of May. So for the month of May, I did an hour, like 5 days a week, and then in June, I did 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then we started shooting, and so on shoot days, sometimes I'd fit in a workout, sometimes I didn't, but then on the off days, I would work out. Up until and through the shoot. So they also had to keep adjusting my suit because my body kept changing.
Right.
So like every few weeks, they'd kind of like, I want to say cinch something in, but
nice.
you know, your muscles. Well, I feel like my butt got like harder. Like it wasn't as squishy.
I've heard that happens if you use it. Yeah.
Or like getting it on was a 2 to 3 person job.
Nice.
But it was really hard, and I abruptly stopped at the end.
Stopped working out as soon as you were done.
I stopped working out. But it's hard. I think it's interesting to me when people who are like really work out are like, it's addictive. I really didn't find it addictive at all. I was very, very, very miserable. But I think it's...
You can tell I'm totally addicted to sit-ups. Sit-ups and Cheetos. I eat them while I do sit-ups.
Good core work there.
Yeah. No, I can never get my head around about that becoming an obsession.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta work out 5 days a week.
Yeah, I don't...
I gotta not work out 5 days a week. I'm obsessed with that.
I don't get it, yeah. I think people get confused, too, because I think I look kind of... I think it's just... I have, like, collarbone. I think it confuses people. I do not go to the gym.
All right. Now we know. I'm gonna get back in. So, Autumn Massey from Birmingham, Alabama... first, please tell me that scene with Ryan Reynolds and the baby legs was CGI.
Wait, and on the baby? Unfortunately, not.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds, we all know your secret about your tiny baby legs.
He wears prosthetics 24/7 and took them off for that scene.
That's really brave of him to show his real legs, though.
Yeah.
My real question is, how did you prepare for the role of Domino, and do you see any similarities between you and her?
Again, just reading and researching, I asked people who were familiar with the comics in a more expansive way than I was, what was important about her and what they felt sort of was an important element of her spirit. And then I kind of just sort of ran with it too, you know. We were all kind of also as a team sort of trying to figure out what's the version we want. Do we want somebody darker? Do we want somebody lighter? And we sort of came together with this idea of like, you know, nothing happens to her, so she's kind of like
there was this
light
cockiness.
afoot. Yeah,
but there was this confidence to her of just knowing, I'm going to be all right. Like, I don't know about you, but
and we
I've got
thought
this
that
handled.
was kind of like a little bit of a nice foil to sort of all the disaster. Was sort of her kind of just floating along. So it kind of came as like a team thing, but then also my own research, I guess.
Nice.
Pretty standard answer to that question.
Well, the third question's kind of the same thing. What's your preparation? We already covered that. We'll move on to Alicia C. from the suburbs. Nice.
Which suburb?
She's not specific at all. I'm from the suburbs. You know. What was your favorite moment working on Deadpool 2? And by the way, I think you were incredible as Domino. Loved it truly.
Thank you, Alicia C.
From the suburbs.
My favorite moment. I have to say, I loved shooting the introduction scene. I remember my first action scene, which is the one where I fall into the convoy seat and I like look over at the guy and then beat him up and then take the wheel. I remember because that is.
I wish you would have really done it like you just did it.
I remember. Well, they changed. I remember because I learned that choreography that day. We had rehearsed something completely different for months, and then same day we changed it. But I think I was so nervous about, I was like, they just invested all this time and energy in me, and I hope that I could pull off the punch. Yeah. And I did it, and I was like, I think it was okay. But then I looked at the monitor, and I was like, holy shit, it looks amazing.
It always looks way better than you think.
Oh, I mean, because camera angles are a real thing.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
So I was really proud of that. I did most of my stunts, by the way, like 90%.
That's pretty great.
I know there's one scene where Domino does a split, not me, but all the other stuff, I guess, besides.
Did Tom Cruise do it?
Tom Cruise flew in for that.
He does his own stunts and everybody else's stunts.
Took a break from Mission Impossible and came in just for me.
Nice.
So I remember being completely ecstatic and elated that moment and so excited to keep doing stunts.
Nice. We'll keep moving. Sage.
From
Daryitis? Let's just say Sage from Minnesota. What was the funniest scene for you to film in Deadpool? Was that the interview or the?
I think actually there's a scene that was cut, unfortunately, due to some plot shifts that they made, which was us on the street right after the X-Force tragedy.
Yeah, spoiler.
And it's me and him just
that's a funny scene. Like, Shatterstar, everybody.
That was a great week, because before it was just me, Ryan, and Josh, and then we had some, great new energy coming in. But that scene was me and him processing all that. So we ended up doing a bunch of that kind of on the intercoms, but obviously that never reads as well as two people standing on the street looking at the carnage in front of them. So I had a great time shooting that scene.
There's a couple of repeats here, so I'm going to skip those. But Jarek from Plainfield, what are some of the latest talks or developments you've heard in regards to Deadpool and X-Force? Can you even talk about? There is an X-Force movie coming, right?
There is an X-Force movie coming. We have a director attached, Drew Goddard, who's doing. He did Bad Times at
Cabin in the Woods, and
he's doing right now Bad Times at the El Royale. So. When we were doing some reshoots, he was literally shooting El Royale in the studio next door. So I went over because they had some of the same crew. But I think because he was really involved with that, they haven't done too much movement on the X-Force film.
Right.
A year and a half ago, Ryan gave me a loose pitch of what he wanted, and there may be another panda involved. But I don't actually really know many details. I do know, though, they're coming out, I think, with another cut of the Deadpool movie, but a PG-13 version.
Why would you want that? Oh, kids, that's right. Because my kid really is bummed that he hasn't been able to see either one of the Deadpool movies.
My brother's 11 years old, and he's pissed because a lot of his classmates have seen it, and he's like, I don't get to see it. And my mom was like, no.
She's right.
She's right. But so I think they're coming out with a Christmas version.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's great.
Or something like that.
Maya St. Clair from Orland Park. How is filming with Ryan Reynolds, and do you want to do more Marvel movies in the future? No.
Well, I am contracted to, so yes.
Well, you kind of already covered. Yeah.
No, but Ryan is. You all know and love him. He's great. He's really funny. He's what you kind of see on stage. That's who he is. He's quick. He's funny, and he's great. He's really smart, and he's lovely. I really enjoy spending time with him.
He's got the likability thing covered pretty
well. Yeah, the charisma is there for sure.
If he was a D&D character, he'd have a 20 charisma for sure. here's a good one. Lex from Texas. If you had Domino's luck at your disposal, would you just see where it took you, or would you try to do something specific? If so, what?
I would. This is like the boring answer. I'd probably just see where it takes me. But you know what? Maybe I would probably actually engage in more. Like, I would love to bungee jump and skydive, and I keep thinking I'm the type of person that would do it, but I haven't yet. So maybe I'm not. But I think I would probably try and engage in sort of things like spelunking, and
Right.
I don't know, try to test my luck there.
Right.
Because right now, don't know if I trust my luck. So.
Nice. The other one is, again, about luck. This kind of weird question. Kayla Quigley, Oswego, Illinois. As an actress who plays Domino, do you have luck in real life? Well, clearly.
Yeah, it's worked out so far.
Yeah.
I would actually say, even before anything in my career ever happened, I always felt very lucky and very fortuitous. I don't know if it was a mindset thing or not, but I think good fortune, so to this point, has definitely followed me in my life.
That's awesome. Last one here, and then we'll open it up to the floor. I don't think we have that much time left, actually. So
I think we have 45 minutes.
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we do. We got another 20. So Joe Lopez from Chicago, super specific. Which character other than your own on Atlanta can you relate to the most, and why?
Alfred. So Paperboy. I think particularly in season 2, his arc really resonated with me. I think because of his fame, his venture into fame, and his sort of push and pull relationship with it, and the question of, do you desire, do you not desire, who do you want to be, and do you want to remain someone, the person who you feel like you used to be, or turn into something else. I don't know. Not that I'm turning into something else, but just really his journey and his arc really meant something to me.
You get it. Do you see where they're lined
Any
up?
hands?
Do we have people lined up?
No.
Where?
Oh, the mic's right there.
Oh, the mic's right there. Okay. Well, I'll.
Well, how are you
there we
doing
go.
today?
I'm doing all right.
What's the shirt?
Oh, Army of Darkness. It's a horror film. Do you not know? Do you
don't know
80s
it.
horror at all? It's
Don't.
It's the sequel to Evil Dead 2. It's
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's officially Evil Dead 3, I guess. But but it's like more comedic, and it's one of the classic horror films.
Mm.
You ready?
Hi.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Melody from DC. I love your portrayal of Domino. Recently, the official photo of you from the upcoming Joker movie was released. I was wondering if you could share anything about that character, if it's an original character or where it's from.
Oh, dear. I honestly don't think I can.
I don't think, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a really good script. I really don't think I can.
Have you even started filming yet, or?
We have, yeah. So we're filming all over New York. The paparazzi will let you know that. We've had paparazzi all over this shoot. But yeah, we're filming, all over the Bronx, Brooklyn. I've been in Manhattan.
But you can at least say that he does not have damaged tattooed on his face, right? You can at least say.
And I haven't
Everybody happy about that?
seen any grills up until this point.
Nice.
So,
Cool.
yeah. I'm sorry. I wish I could give you more, but
No,
thank you
know
so
how
much.
that works. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kayla, and
Hi.
my question was, who's your favorite Marvel character and why?
Who's my favorite Marvel character? I'm thinking.
You can say Domino.
She popped into
Nobody
my
would
head.
be mad at you.
I like. I like Wolverine. I specifically I like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, nice.
Maybe that's more specific.
Does Ryan know that? Because
Oh no.
Wolverine takes a lot of crap in that movie.
Oh man, Wolverine Domino movie.
Yeah,
Let's put it out there.
that would be great.
Yeah, I like. I really liked Logan as well. That movie, I think it was like a really beautiful sort of. I loved feeling his heart, and I loved feeling his vulnerability, and I think that character has carried so much pain with him, and so I think I don't know. I just really enjoy.
You know, yeah, for a superhero movie, you never hear like the description kind of beautiful. That was like,
Yeah.
that movie was different. Like,
Yeah,
it stood
I
out.
think
like,
I felt that, yeah.
And it was a great story.
Hugh Jackman is my favorite
Yeah, I
Marvel
get it.
character.
Hi. First of all, I want to say your outfit is amazing.
Oh my gosh, I made this skirt.
Really?
I made the skirt.
So I want to ask.
I made my sweatshirt.
I wanted to ask you, what was one of the most funniest times on set, and did you have any interactions on set with Bill Skarsgård?
With Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
I did. The X-Force guys, they came for a whole week, and Bill and I, we hung out for a week. He had just finished shooting It, and so that was like actually It had just come out. And so it was interesting. We talked a bunch about that and what that experience was like for him. And what was the first part of your question again?
What was one of the funniest times on set?
Oh, the funniest times. Believe it or not, Josh Brolin loves a fart joke. So
Well, he is a dad. He's an old man.
you're right. He is a dad about to have another.
Right.
What my favorite? You know what? Actually, again with Josh Brolin, there was a day I remember him and I were doing a fight scene, and I passed out. I think I must have been like dehydrated or something. But he like caught me and held me because it was in the middle of the scene. I kind of just like, blah, blah. And he like really took care of me. And there was something about that I don't know. I felt just in general, he really kind of took me under his wing. And I think it was just like another moment sort of that really underscored that. And I remember he always pulled me aside and was like, how are you doing? I know this is like a big thing. And
that really doesn't seem like a Thanos move. but that's awesome to hear.
He's a great actor.
Nice.
And so, that sounds like a weird thing, but I think just sort of that day of bonding I enjoyed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks for the question. Yeah. Hey, Matt.
Hi there.
Hi.
I was wondering, with the potential Disney and Fox merger, are there any MCU characters you would like Domino to either team up with or face off against?
Oh. I think. I mean, well, she's not MC though. I just thought Harley Quinn, but she's not Marvel. But I feel like that could be such a fun combination. But I guess in terms of Marvel specifically,
Well, you said Wolverine earlier. Is there anybody else?
yeah, I think Iron Man could be kind of fun. I don't know why. I don't have like a specific reason why. I think it would just be fun to do a movie with.
I keep waiting for Drunk Iron Man, which, if you read the comics in the 70s, he was an awesome character. So, like, if Domino tangled
just
with
drunk Iron
Drunk
Man?
Iron Man, he's wasted all the time. Just
Is it the same Iron Man?
it was
the
Tony
power
Stark,
is
but he was
alcohol?
battling Demon in the Bottle. It was a famous miniseries in Iron Man. Nerds know it, right?
Yeah.
I feel like a Deadpool Iron Man thing could be fun.
That would be fun.
Thank
Next
you.
question.
Hi, I'm Eric from Chicago.
Hi.
And you were incredible as Domino, but I was just wondering because comic fans and movie fans of Marvel are such a passionate community. How have you felt? What's the reception been like to you? I know you kind of mentioned earlier about Domino, but how's the community embraced you?
I'll lead with overwhelmingly positive, which has been wonderful. I've felt really so welcomed into this community, and I know in the beginning I was nervous because I know I don't look like the traditional character, and I wanted to also respect that people, I didn't need to be their Domino, but I think particularly after the movie came out, people were so excited and so supportive, and I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking like even this turnout here, and just people
great.
showing up. So it's really been so positive. So I'm really really grateful about that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Hi, my name is Kayla, and
Hi.
if you had to be any Marvel character you wanted, who would you want to be and why? Besides Logan.
Besides Logan. If I could be any Marvel character. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember in terms of characters, people would always be like, you should be Storm. I auditioned for young Storm, actually, and I didn't get it. So
Me too.
You too. I don't remember the actress's name actually who ended up playing her, but she shaved her head for it, so I was like, yeah, not me, not right now. But I feel like growing up, I always had like an association with her. I mean, obviously, I guess being a young black woman, that was the one I associated with. But I think it would be, I don't know, that would have been like a little fantasy of mine to do that, and sort of like a nostalgic thing for me to try. So yeah, I'd say Storm.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question.
Hi, Zazie. My name's Lauren, and I'm such a huge fan.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, first of all, you're amazing. It's so great to have like a woman of color to look up to in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You.
And my question to you is, if Domino could have the chance for an extra superpower, what would you like for it to be and why?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll just go with the one that I always choose if people ask me like what superpower, but I'd want to fly. I know it's really basic, but it's efficient.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know, I have this thing of like wanting to feel free and wanting to feel loose. I'm a Gemini. I struggle with commitment, and I think the flying thing is, I've always thought, oh, that would just be such a freeing, beautiful thing. So I would go Superman on that, and I'd fly.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, my name's Jeff.
Hi.
Yeah, very funny. I would say if you're trying to fly, definitely go skydiving. I've gone myself. It's amazing.
Oh, really? Have you gone multiple times?
Just one time, but we're actually trying to go again.
You know, Ryan almost died once skydiving.
Really?
Yeah. He had done, I think, 13 jumps with someone, and then his first solo one, his parachute didn't open. And then I guess he pulled the reserve because he's still with us. And the guy told him he was like, you have to go right back now, otherwise you'll never skydive again. He was like, yeah, I'm never skydiving again. But I really do want to try it. It's also so affordable.
Yeah.
Right? You can do it for like $200.
My question would
Sorry.
be... My question would be, so you're very familiar with Domino, and my question is basically, do you believe that most of the X-Force was killed off because of Domino's effect of her luck, taking the luck around her?
Ooh. Well, I don't think her luck, as far as I understand, sort of like emanates sort of badness to others. I think it's more, she just is, it's kind of a really, I guess, selfish power. Like it just emanates directly from her, is only for her. And so I don't think that her power affected, I guess, their outcome. But in terms of, did you mean it in that way, or did you mean in terms of storyline?
Both. Either
Both.
Way.
I think really they just kind of did it as a gag, which is too bad because I guess we can't use those characters anymore, except for young Peter. But which in the end credits he survives.
Nice.
But I think it was just sort of like really as a joke. I think her luck is really kind of a sort of a selfish thing. I don't think it spews negativity outwards. So I don't think she kills them.
I think they wanted to work with a limited team, and that was their funny way of doing it, and then also showing that she was lucky enough to survive the mess that the other guys unfortunately didn't.
Thank you.
Next.
Thank you.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Zazie.
Hi.
My name's Monica. I just have a question. I wrote it down. Where do you think diversity is going in the next few years, and what needs to happen for it to grow in Hollywood?
Well, I think we're in this really interesting time right now where I think a lot of filmmakers, studios in general, are feeling more pressure, rightfully so, I think, to incorporate diversity. I think not just in skin tone, but sort of in all types, in terms of body shape, in terms of ability, in terms of sex. And I feel like I'm seeing this pattern of people realizing that there's a market for diverse cast. And so I think kind of what we need to figure out is to not sort of, I think, see this as like a moment of now, that this is like a popular thing now. I hear that a lot sort of in like, if I'm in conversations in movies, like, oh, you know, it's a really good moment to have like a woman's story. And it's interesting because I don't think you really hear ever like it's a really good moment to have a man's story or something like that, or like to tell the story of women in color, like that's like people are really into that right now. I think it should kind of be a given that, people are interested in just seeing themselves on screen. And so, I think we're moving forward. I think that type of dialogue needs to shift. And for people to just like give opportunity and take risks. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're gonna make it through this whole line, but let's get a couple more.
I'm gonna pass out right now. Oh my gosh.
I saw you kind of freaking out.
Oh really? I have anxiety, so. Okay, so I've been learning German for like 8 years.
Really?
Yes, and I saw you're German American, and I was like, oh my gosh, she knows German. So I was wondering, like, what's your favorite memory from Germany?
Oh my gosh! Oh, you really hit. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm in AP, so.
My favorite moment from Germany. Whenever people ask me about my favorite place in the world, my head jumps immediately to this spot in the Alps. I used to go as a child every year to the Alps specifically for a few weeks when I was visiting my grandparents for the summer. And there's a field full of little clover flowers. And my grandmother, she taught me, if you take clovers, you can pick off the little petals and you can suck the nectar at the bottom, and it's really sweet. And so I would lay there and I would do that, and that was my like peace field. So I'd say that is my favorite moments in Germany. That.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Also, I see the picture in 2 hours because I have your photo op. So.
Oh, I'm so excited to meet you.
Thank you.
Bis dann. Schön, dich zu treffen. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm David.
Hi, David. That's my boyfriend's name.
Hey. Excellent. I was wondering that do you think that if Domino were in Infinity War, that she would have aimed for the head on like Thor?
That I would have what?
Aimed for the head on like
Definitely. I think that Domino would have I think she would have beat up Thanos.
Someone needs to.
Someone needs to. Yes, I do. Yes, in short.
You
yes.
could just tell him like a fart joke, because apparently those work on him.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Let me see. I don't know any fart jokes. This is the sound that Josh would always make unwittingly and in the corner of a room. He'd go like this. I don't know if I can do it. Like, and you'd look around and be like, what was that? And he'd sit there laughing quietly.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hi, Deadpool.
Yay.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, doing good. Just want to say I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
And I have this one question, and it doesn't involve with me and everything else, but are we going to expect like near future of a solo Domino movie?
You know, I would love to do that. I would kind of love to do like a Domino origins story.
Right.
I think that I'll have to be the motor for that. So there's a woman on Atlanta who's a writer that I actually would really like to work with. Her name is Stephanie Robinson. She's written some episodes for me specifically, and she's super talented. And also a young black woman. And I think it would be really cool to do that. But I think I would have to kind of get that boat moving. But totally, I think it's definitely something I'm super, super into doing. And I will let y'all know if it does happen.
Yeah, I think you'll hear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for the great questions.
Thank you.